I bleed Dodger blue.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bleed Dodger Blue. My name is Jeff Spiegel here with Dodgers reliever Evan Phillips on a rehab assignment with OKC. Evan, I was looking at it almost 5 full years ago when you first came to the Dodgers. Pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's something usually around this time of year when it all went down, I start to think about it again. And my wife and I, still can't really believe it. Just, the road's not always straight and easy. So just appreciative to be part of this organization and, hopefully ready to win more championships.
5 years ago, could you have ever have imagined the journey from August of 2021 to here we are in June 2026?
No, and, I was just reflecting on it with some teammates too. It's like, I got released by Baltimore and then signed a minor league contract with Tampa, hoping to just get some of their, wisdom. And then quickly found myself back in the big leagues after some small changes, and then found myself in LA. And I was just trying to ride the wave and see what happened. So fortunately, I just really had to listen to everything the Dodgers had for me, and was very happy I did.
Obviously, team success, World Series, a lot of that out of an individual player's control. But like for you, the personal success you've been able to find, the effectiveness on one of the best teams. I mean, in all honesty, like how much of that did you believe you were actually capable of? And how much of that was like the Dodgers unlocking something that you didn't even know was possible?
Oh, yeah. I mean, gosh, for the first probably year and a half I was a Dodger, they kept on telling me how good I was or how good I could be, and I just didn't really believe it. I didn't think it was true. I just think I needed to see it and then, see it 10 times over to really start believing it. But I had a couple of, moments that really stood out to me as like, all right, like now I've really solidified myself. I remember we were in San Francisco, and I got out of back-to-back bases loaded, nobody out jams on consecutive days. And I was like, all right, if I can do that on consecutive days, I can probably hang there for a while.
When you say that, it reminds me of a guy who's up with the Dodgers right now, Will Klein.
Sure.
And every time they talk about him on the broadcast, they kind of say something similar where the Dodgers had to look him in the eyes and be like, dude, you're good enough. Like, just throw the ball in the zone because guys aren't going to be able to hit it. Like, what's it been like for you to see the Dodgers have, I don't want to say multiple Evan Phillips come up behind, but guys whose careers have been a little more windy? Have you been able to have relationships with those guys and sort of be a second voice in their ear to say, hey, I'm proof that these guys know what they're talking about?
Yeah, to a certain extent, right? Like, it's not going to work for everybody. Sure. Obviously, it's baseball's a hard game, but the Dodgers, do a great job of bringing in guys that have, tremendous tools and the ability to get guys out. So guys like Will Klein or, guys here in AAA that are knocking on the door, I love to just have those kind of conversations and try to guide them in ways that similarly to as I was, and help in any way I can.
Was there anybody when you first came to the Dodgers that kind of played that role for you?
Everybody. Gosh, like I always talk about that bullpen when I was when I first got over. Like Blake Trinan, Joe Kelly, Kenley Jansen, and then Corey Knebel was a big one for me. And then like my peers, like Alex Vesia was kind of in it around the same time. So just learning from those guys, Craig Kimbrell for a year or two, just the amount of knowledge that you can get from those guys. You can take away certain things and really learn things that aren't for you as well, right? So, but just having those conversations, knowing that I may not ever have an opportunity to be around a clubhouse like that ever again, I try to just immerse myself in it. And very fortunate to still be part of it.
Well, and I want to get to that. I want to get to the injury and the rehab in a second, but obviously this offseason, free agent. And, I know a lot of Dodgers fans were like crossing their fingers. There were some rumblings that, hey, when's he going to sign? Is he going to wait till halfway through the year to sign? What was that process for you like? And I mean, in all honesty, was there a doubt in your mind that you were going to end up with the Dodgers?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really hard conversation when I first got non-tendered and, understanding what was ahead of me. But just the nature of rehabbing, and I wasn't really throwing too much at that point yet. So I think the Dodgers wanted to just see how my rehab progressed before they really, regained interest. And that was kind of consistent across the league. So it was wild. Things really didn't start picking up at all until around spring training. And then it all kind of came in a hurry. You had to bounce around, offers from a few different teams, but really, we internally were definitely keeping our fingers crossed that it would work out back with LA.
I don't mean to get too far into the weeds, but like it's got to be the business side of baseball comes up where the Dodgers come and say, hey, we're going to non-tender you, which I'm sure, I don't know how much of a surprise it was, but it's not a conversation anybody wants to hear.
Sure.
And yet a couple months later, you're back sitting across from probably some of those same people saying, hey, we want you back. So like, how do you just on a personal level, emotionally navigate sort of the non-tender moment to then I actually still do want to be here?
Sure. Well, the tone from the team was they always wanted to retain me. It was just the be, I guess, unknown of where I was going to be at throwing wise. And ultimately they decided to not carry me on the 40-man roster, right? That's the business logistics part of it that it came down to. So, and that was their choice. And then they, go out and they're able to be aggressive in free agency and, make the free agent signings that they did. And then spring opens back up. And, once we were probably about a week out of spring when the roster I can sign and go right on the 60-day, right? So that's when teams really started to engage with me again. And it picked up pretty quick and, signed, and we were, out of our house in less than 24 hours. And
Crazy.
Then hunkered down in AZ to finish out my rehab.
On last question on the Dodgers sort of culture piece, like what is it about this group? Obviously, I'm sure winning and that doesn't hurt, back-to-back champions. But for you, like, what would you say to people around the league? Like, why was returning to the Dodgers such a priority for you, do you think?
Well, it's a championship organization for one, right? We were talking about, the nature of my rehab. I'm returning here, around the midway point of the season. So we were hoping to be with a team that has a shot to win a championship. That way I can prolong, my season. So that combined with the fact that, we knew that the Dodgers, do it the best way, and in our opinion, plus that experience that we've had with them. They know me, they know the nature of my rehab. So we trusted that if we were able to sign back, they would take care of me through my rehab process as well.
Okay, let's talk rehab process. Obviously, Tommy John surgery last year. This is a new thing for you. It doesn't seem like it seems like you probably know 100 people who have gone through this process. But what has been the most challenging part for you of this entire lengthy process?
I think specifically now it's just the being patient part of not being as sharp as I can be. Just trying to find the little wins and in the struggles here. My outings in AAA, I haven't really had a sharp one until last night. There was only one batter, right? So, but completing the back-to-back is like a nice, nice way to show that physically I'm really close. But everything I've ever heard from guys that have been through Tommy John, that the feels of like command and pitch shapes and things like that are usually the last things to come. So trying not to be too hard on myself, continuing to be patient with that process, but while still, maintaining some willpower in me to get the job done quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a lengthy process. I think you're 3+ weeks now here with Oklahoma City. I know the back-to-back was, one of the last hurdles, it seemed like from the outside, that you were going to have to clear. So knowing that your stuff is maybe still in a place that's in progress, how are you feeling right now, and how close do you feel like you are to being back with LA?
Yeah, I think we really are closing in on those final outings here with the team in AAA. Really just depends on timing of when things really start to come together for me, and when the team wants me back. I know I have another one here on Sunday, and then beyond that, it's kind of TBD, sort of up in the air. So I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm just one day at a time and trying to just continue to chip away at what it's going to take to get major league hitters out.
Yeah. Last question for you.
Sure.
Obviously, seeing the list of guys that they have here, I'm sure a bunch of those guys look at you. Teoscar's here. I was talking to Alex Friedman yesterday. It's like Mookie's been here Edmund was here for an extended. A lot of the veterans are here, but not just for a couple of days, but sort of extended stretches. What's that been like for you to kind of be back in this environment, but as the guy who, has been at the highest level, at the major league level, has won World Series? What's that been like?
I had a little bit of a taste of it here last year with the team rehabbing a shoulder thing. So I really just tried to immerse myself in it. I love baseball. I have a deep passion for like the work side of it too. So I've really been trying to get with some of the guys individually or as a group to just try to build everybody up to help them with some of the things that I felt like I missed when I was in AAA initially. So any way I can be a soundboard for guys, or a leader in ways, or have those conversations that might not get had right away, just whatever I can do to help anybody here, I'm always willing to do.
Awesome. Well, it's Evan Phillips, reliever for the Dodgers and the Oklahoma City Comets for a little while longer. We're hopeful that you're back in LA soon, and best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.